Hi guys, it's Mark for my thoughts about the HOTBODIES E817T. This should be a top-notch kit. It's really expensive and I like the look of the truck, the way they, put the electronic in, and to drive. It's really a blast. That's why I love this truggy. I drive it one time now just for the test run in a flat surface, but the handling was really great. Okay, I drive with Scorpion BXXL tires. It's not typical truggy tires, but I don't use it on a racetrack, so I can do what I want. I put also for RPM SC10B front bumper and from an Emax skid plate, also from RPM. And now we're gonna take a talk about first the mounting from this kit. I have the video in French on my channel and several parts. And I notice some strange things in that type of mounting. Differential and shocks, it's standard, nothing strange or changing. We have here a bleeder, but we have not the option to put or here these rubber parts or O-rings to can use this bleeder. There is nothing also in the back to tell about something for the setup from this. That's for me not okay for such a price high kit. It's not a big thing. Personally, I cut out these rubber parts and use the bleeder screw. The bleeder was not made to be used as bleeder against the oil. You have no joint here or nothing here between the screw and the cap for provide oil leak. But I put it on because I prefer to drive shocks with bleeders. It's way softer and I can put under pressure in the shock. And I really like to drive under pressure in the shock. But this is my thoughts and my setups. What I like is that you begin with the shocks, with all the 3 differential, so all the oil thing is make. Then you make all your linkage. That's also cool. That's the way I mount my kit. I in the most of the time don't check in the manual how to fit the truck together. Then you go to the main chassis and there is the beginning of the strange ways to mount the truck. They tell you to put all together here the center diff and the center diff parts and also the support for the center brace. But after that, when you have put your axe on your chassis, you have to put a screw from under there in this hole here for put the center brace, but you have here diffs who comes out, so it's really tricky to put the screws in. And what's much trickier is to hold the screw when you tighten the nut up there. We will go to see later how this is working. Sway bar, also easy. Next strange step here, this pinion. You get in the bag 2 from the chime, they only show 1 chime. So you think maybe you can put 1 in the front, 1 in the rear, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear, depending what you want to for your gear mesh. But no, you can only put this washer in the back for the pinion. You can go to the front, and you have to put all 2 washer. If you only put 1, you have a real big delay from the pinion here. Then here in the rear brace so the rear front arm brace here, You have in real 2 holes in the top, and you can put 2 grub screws here to block these 2 axles. This is not designed here. You have nothing in all the manual about it, but these 2 screws are here to maintain this axle, so you can easy on the field put the nuts away and change your setup quickly. It's a failure, but a failure, and this price high kits, it's not something I really like. It's something I expect from if Arma would make a kit, or even a cheaper brand, but not from HOTBODIES. Next strange step is here. Now we are here. This is the center brace mount, and you see here on the picture, it's really clear. You have this screw from under here, and all those parts are designed from the top, but in fact it's not so. This brace, you see it on the next picture, is underneath here. And that's the stupid thing about this brace. You put this one together, then on the chassis it is okay, but how would you take this screw here from under here? So you can put the screw in, but you never can hold it. And why did they put the screw from under and the nuts from the top? I don't understand, because they really take care of the look from the truck, and then in the middle of the mount you have here 2 nuts who going out instead of 2 screws. This look way better. I use some orange shimes here to go like the rest of the truck. Here also you have a little bit orange, here you have a little bit orange, so I decided to go for a little bit orange in the center. It's clearly, it's not a deal, it's not a big deal, it's not something who don't make the trucks works, but you know what I mean, we expect more. And finally, by bizarre things, we have also the old 1 kilometer long or 1 mile long antenna. It's also something strange, don't understand, in the 21st century. And I think that was it. So I think by the mounting from the kit, they should not do this operation first. They should do this operation without putting here the top brace, and put all these 3 parts and the 2 brace from the chassis at the last moment when you have all fit together. The other strange thing is that they make you put the diff together, then they make you put the diffs in the front bulkheads, attach the arms, and then put the front on the chassis. Then when the front is on the chassis, they tell you to put the hubs, the damper and all the stuff, but it's way easier to make a complete front end, a complete rear end, then bolt it and the chassis, and then put the brace on. That's, I think, the easiest way to put an RC together. I would say it's not a big deal, but it's really strange. Then the most probably parts are the electronic implantation. You have here way too less place. You have nothing, nowhere on the box or something when you are in the shop to buy your kit. If the shop owner don't make himself this kit together, he can't tell you what electronic you can take. You have here really no place. If they should only go 5mm or a centimeter in the rear, that will not really change many things on the gravity or the center weight distribution, but you would have really place to put all the electronic you wanted. Because I was thinking to put a Castle Mamba Monster X 2002 kV Mamba Monster motor with sensor. It's impossible. The motor is too long, then you have the sensor in the back, and the ESC is too bright to fit between motor and servo. So here I have to cut out a part here from the center diff brace chassis drift mount to can put my motor a little bit more in the front to win a little bit place to put ESC in. It's clear if you take a motor with a sensor with a side mount from the sensor, it's really be better. But maybe they only think this for put an 86mm long can motor in. But in Truggy I really don't like these small motors, I like 47mm motors. So I put here a small ESC, the ZTV Beast Pro 220 amps, because it fits between those two parts. The other stupid thing is when you mount the servo, most of the servo has the wire who get out on the rear from the servo. So just quick take a standard servo. So this is the most way you find a servo. Some new servo has the wire going here in the middle, but the most case you have this one. And the servo is mounted on a plate who comes here with this screw underneath here. And what happens is that the mount here put the wire away, you don't have enough place, so I have to cut out a part from the mount so my wire are not squeezed away. That's only the first part from this servo. Then the wire goes out backwards. Backwards you have the center shaft. So you have to go left or right with your wires. You can go here to this side because if you have an ESC in, you have not enough place to put the cable between these two parts. So here you have a go around here the servo this way and go to the receiver box. I really think this is bizarre. Also, many ESC have the wire otherwise or other sense, so you have really problem to fit here ESC in. But you see the chassis is small, you have wider sidewise, you have here place to go more on the outside, and you have enough place on the chassis to go more backward. Then the receiver box is here. That means if you put the electronic out, you have to unscrew here and here and here. It's not a big deal, but they do nothing for put the wire in. You have absolutely nothing who is make to put the wire from the servo and ESC to the receiver. They are only just lay around on the chassis. Then you have two alloy motor mount, really cool, the motor holds really good with this, I love it, but you have nothing who was make or thinking for put a fan on this motor. If you want to put a fan here, you have to bore here two holes to put a fan, but the fan is not really aware on the motor. If you put it here, it's also not really on the motor, it's strange. For this price I expect really more from HOTBODIES. That's all small things, but pinion gear mounting is strange. Also I forgot, in the manual they tell you to put a shime left and right on the differential here. You have a shime here and a shime also. The upper shime is even not on the picture, but you have two shime in there, and the problem is with this two shime it's not enough. You have a really big place, big play between the pinion and the differential gear here. You have to put on one side here two washers. You have one here, but in real you have to put two from these washers on this side and one here, and even then it's a little bit still too much play. So on the differential you have two strange things. On the this bar, you have strange things. You have no more place for electronic. It's really tiny here. They think nothing about the wire lay down. They plus. It's when you have finished to mount your kit, you are not so happy finally, because I really when I mount this kit, I really expect to have it's never perfect, it's never like you mind to have a kit, but I expect more. So I was a little bit disappointed after mounting the kit, but I exactly know it's many times the same in RC. You are disappointed about a mounting system, or even if you have an RTR, you are disappointed about the servo or the motor or something. But in the end, when you go to drive your truck, you are at every time, or in the most of the time, really happy, and that's what I am. The other thing I change between what they say in the kit for the setups is the diff oils. They use really fine diff oils, and it's just, I know because I drive it. I drive other cars with so fine diff oils. It's just undrivable, because each time one wheel goes up from the ground, just blow all the power away to this wheel who are left from the ground. So I don't put the 7000 CST oil front 10 in the middle and 3 in the back. It's really not enough. I put 10 in the back, 150 in the center and 20 in the front, and you will see here with this thick oil it's still really loose. That's for the differential. And the shock setup is also strange from the kit. They tell you to put 400 V oil front and rear shocks. You get with the kit 400 front and rear, but in the manual they tell you to take 400 in the front and 350 in the back. I go to 600 CST in the front and 500 CST in the rear, because I put the kit together on the shock wise like they tell in the manual, but the car was really soft and was really low to the ground, and really fall to the suspension to reach the ground on every jump or movement from the terrain. So I put thicker oil in there, and I put in the front, because it's what I have here, 2 rare Hobauer Hyper SST springs, and in the rear 2 Hyper MT springs from Hobauer. You have all you need in shock springs by HOTBODIES. You can order all you want, but I want to go drive, so I take what I have here. I maybe gonna order the harder springs from the kits you can have with these HOTBODIES. And this wise, I drive 6S 1700 kV motor. This wise, I'm really happy with the truck. He's still soft, but he not bumps out to the ground. And I make for me this truck only to race on a flat field, to just in the grass, to have some fun with speed. And this wise, I'm really happy with this truck. I have put for the test run an unbreakable body for Evgeny Pro Body RC. Thanks Pro Body RC for this awesome body. You see here it's a stock truggy body. It's not a problem to fit it, just changing the front, the 2 body mounts. But that's not all I have. I have also a buddy of mine who make me a paint job on the body, who will fit on this truck. You surely will see it on the field when I run the truck. The other thing I will do here, I have programming no turbo mode, and I have put a really small pinion for the test drive. I put here a 14 tooth in. Maybe I'm gonna put, because I have a less kV motor, 50 or 60 pinion tooth. And this is also a strange thing I see in the manual. They talk about 80 to 22 pinion gear. Okay, in competition they only drive 4S, but this truck was made for small motor. but with such a big pinion, I don't understand it. That's make nonsense for me, because it's in competition they only drive 10 minutes, they don't care about the amp throw. But with a small motor, a big pinion in 4S, you have here really fat amp throw, and you will really tear down the Lipo, and this is really not what I like to do with my trucks. I drive here a 6S 4800 milliamps Lipo, and I have a runtime about 20 minutes. It's not super fast. I know with this I have 0 degree timing, I have no turbo mode, I have a small pinion, I have small tires even, because truggy tires are way bigger. So the way he's mounting here, I drive the first test run, you see it here. I maybe only reach 65 km/h or 70, it's not much. But with this I have a runtime from 20 minutes, so I'm surely gonna put the turbo mode on, put 10 degree motor timing on. I will test it again with this setup, then with the bigger tires, and then finally if the motor temperature is okay, because at this test run after 20 minutes the motor was about 40-45 degrees. The Lipo was 30 degrees, the ESC was cold, it was not an issue, was not a problem, even with this close body to the chassis. So I really think after the turbo tests and the bigger wheels test, I will go to a little bit bigger pinion here. I don't gonna take a motor with more kV. I'm happy with this setup, like the way it's drive, it's really I'm just happy. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe on the first video you don't really see really what I mean with the handling of the truck. I will take on the next video I will do to go on another surface so you really can see the handling from this truck, because I really just changed a little bit the diff setups, the suspension setup, but all the chassis layout is like they tell it in the kit, and it's really on and off gas reaction are really good. The trucks are has really no default to drive on the road. I just expect HOTBODIES to make the next kit maybe to think in another way to mount the kit, and to think in another way to put here this electronic in, to have a little bit more room. I really think 5 mm more in the length, or even a centimeter in the length, and more left and right place would be much better. What's awesome is the Lipo Tray, because you really can change if you want to drive small packs. You really can keep the Lipo to the back from the car or in the front of the car for change the weight balance. I drive big Lipos. I just drive for fun. I'm not a competitor, so maybe what I complain here is not something who will be an issue for a competitor. But take care if you take such a kit, because you love the looks the chassis has, the way it's mounted, like me. Take care that your electronic fits in the truck, because the place is really short. Tell me if you have one, what you complain, if you're happy with, if you're not happy, and even share your experience for the setups, what you have make for improve, what you think that's a bad idea to change or to do. I want to know everything also about what you do with your car. I'm here for share with you, so please share with me, guys. And if you not like the video, just unlike, it's not a problem, but tell me why. Bye, guys.